This video is brought to you by my latest book, How to Play Melodic Rock Lead Guitar, a comprehensive guide to doing exactly that, playing melodic rock lead guitar. This is not just some collection of scale patterns and tabs, although you do get plenty of those, but you also get an entire chapter on how to come up with your own licks, as well as video content, tutorials and demonstrations, loads of jam tracks, and all the way through I'm encouraging you to expand your fretboard knowledge and showing you how you can think in a more musical and melodic way. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say that I am massively happy with the guitar tone that I get. As many of you know, probably all of you know, I use the Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury Edition for everything, been using it for, years now. My YouTube guitar tone journey started off with a Vox Tone Lab. I might have to get another one of those just to see, because I have fond memories of it. And then from the Vox Tone Lab I went to Guitar Rig and Bias Amp, and then I went from that to the Marshall DSL1, beautiful sounding amp, and then it just died on me. And then, as I say, I ended up with the Blue Guitar Amp 1, and that's where I've settled, and I'm not planning to change. But every so often there is such online chatter, especially on Guitar YouTube, about a particular technology that I'm thinking, should I try it out? And in the end I usually think, well, no, I've probably got other things to spend me money on. But in the case of Neural Amp Modeler, it's free, so I thought, well, yeah, let's give it a go. I'll get a couple of videos out of it. And the first of those videos was on Thursday, you might have seen it, where I was giving my first impressions of the Neural Amp Modeler, and they were quite positive, it has to be said. So what I said on Thursday is that today I would be giving it the usual shakedown, what do those tones sound like in a mix and so on. And that's what we're about to do now. Here's a little tune that I cooked up using the tones that I've downloaded for the Neural Amp Modeler, and then we'll talk about them afterwards. And as always, you'll find a full tab for that tune in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track to play along with yourself. That's all up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or about £3 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources and goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. So what exactly is Neural Amp Modeler then? Well, it's the way I use it, it's basically a piece of software that works as an effect inside your DAW. I use Reaper, and what you do is you just install it on your PC, and then you can insert it as an effect on any track that you're recording to. And then what you need to do is import some profiles into that Neural Amp Modeler player. These profiles are not amp simulations or amp models. I think the name Neural Amp Modeler is perhaps a little bit misleading. I always understand, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I always understand that an amp model is something that's generated in software. But an amp profile or capture is what happens here, is that you get this, you download this thing called a sweep signal, and then you use that to profile your amp. Imagine the situation: you've got your Marshall Bluesbreaker combo or your Fender Twin or whatever your signal chain is, and you've got it all dialed into your settings, and you've got it mic'd up with your choice of microphones and getting them placed correctly for just that perfect tone that you use to record with. So what you do is you fire the sweep signal into the input of your amp and then record it into your DAW. Now, that input, that sweep signal, is a known quantity, and by comparing what comes out at the other end after it's been fired through your signal chain, then some very clever shenanigans goes on where they say, okay, so this minus this gives us this, and that is the sort of heart of how the amp is captured. It's basically measurable what the amp has done to that known input signal. And then you can upload that to various websites. Tone 3000 is probably, it used to be called Tone Hunt, is probably the one where you get most of these. And or you can just do what I did and download other people's, and that's what I was using there. Speaking of the settings, the crunchy riff kind of thing was somebody's capture of a Marshall JTM 45, and you can see the amp modeler there. You've got various controls. I turned the input gain down for that one because it just needed a little bit more. It was just a little bit too gainy for that sort of classic rock power chordy riffy sort of sound. Then the clean chords. Oh, by the way, I also used that for the sort of cleanish lead parts as well. Just cleaning it up from the guitar's volume control. Then for the clean strummy chords, it was someone's capture of a Fender Super Reverb. And then for the shouty solo-y bits, it was back to the capture of the JTM 45 once again. But as you can see, I've cranked the input up a little bit more just to drive it a bit. And those were the settings I used. Obviously, I added a bit of delay and reverb, as I usually do in the mix and all that sort of stuff. We're just talking about core amp tones here. Most things like delay and reverb and chorus and phasing and flanging, most people have got those, or most I should say DAWs come with very, very capable versions of those anyway, and that's all I was using in that recording, just the native effects that are part of Reaper. Now, maybe you're thinking, well, yes, but it might be free, and it's I think it produces usable, very credible sounds. But what if I want to use it live? Well, there are various pedals that are starting to emerge now where you can load these profiles onto onto the pedal. Something like the Vailton GP5 or the Sonic 8 Pocket Master spring to mind, which are both as cheap as chips, really. So this is something that you can use in a live scenario if that was your your desire. So conclusions. Even for an old duffer like me who is notoriously technophobic, I found it really easy to use. You have to invest some time, but to basically scrolling through or browsing the amp profiles on the Tone 3000 website. But the thing is, you can preview those tones on there. You don't have to download them and try them out and think, well, okay, maybe not, maybe not. You can just, it's a couple of mouse clicks to just preview them online, and what you hear online is pretty much what you hear when you use them yourself. So I just found that a little bit, well, a lot actually, less fiddly and bothersome than squinting into a touch screen and and kind of scrolling through menus on a pedal, or even worse, on a phone app or something like that. That's just not, I can do it, but I find it really, really frustrating, and I don't like doing it. But this, it's just like you're just browsing a website, and just, it's easy. So what else have I got written down here? Yes, it responds well to the controls on your guitar. As I say, I was using the same settings on the neural thing for the crunchy power chord stuff as I was for the clean lead stuff. It cleans up well from the guitar's volume control. It's responsive in that way. And yeah, it's never going to replace my Blue Guitar Amp 1, but it is a handy backup, which is precisely the reason I bought this pedal a little while back, the Jim's 45. Nice kind of, really properly nice Marshall tones coming out of that pedal. I'm very happy with that, but if I'd known about Neural Amp Modeler before I bought that pedal, I'd probably have thought twice about buying it, because the Neural Amp Modeler is, for the purposes I use in here, is just a more convenient backup. It's mouse clicks to kind of just put it to start using it, rather than unhooking cables and, oh, where's the power supply gone, and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's the spare tire in the boot, or trunk if you prefer. That's the way I'm going to start thinking about it. And the best thing is, it's free. It's, as I say, if a old crusty buffer like me can make it work, then anyone can. I'll put links to the Neural Amp Modeler download and the Tone 3000 website and the amp profiles that I was using in that demo piece. They'll all be down in the description if you want to check them out, and be interested to know, if you do check them out, what you think of it. I just think it's a lot easier to use than, as I say, touchscreen, squinting, menu diving, all that sort of stuff. I just found this a much more friction-free way of using, the latest tech. And there you go, folks. That is my review of the Neural Amp Modeler and what it can do. Hope you enjoyed it, and if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And of course, don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. It's just a chance for a beer and a chat, basically. It's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.